All right, welcome back everybody to the Auburn Undercover YouTube channel. Nathan King here with Jason Caldwell after some technical difficulties.
Take two.
Round two of our recap now of day 5 of Auburn fall camp. Getting it out of the way was one of the big storylines we've been paying attention to. We've been every day we've been going to practice, been trying to figure out the availability of Jarquez Hunter. This morning we get there on the practice field and he was available back, and with that running back room that was already in a good spot, of course, without him, but as some of the players were telling us today, kind of an irreplaceable guy in terms of the talent level, one of the better players on the entire roster, and at least at the moment, like you were talking about earlier, we'll see what it means for the long term. We'll see what Hugh Freeze says on Saturday, but for now they've got their starting running back. Yeah,
no, you're right. We probably won't find out any more details until we talk to the head coach again on Saturday after the scrimmage, but the first step is there. The first step means Jarquez Hunter's back practicing, back around the guys, and you can see, we've seen it all summer. You saw videos of him working out, him doing his own thing, and it showed up today. That Jarquez Hunter's, he's always going to be in shape, and he's always going to be ready to roll, and he was today. He jumped right out of the gate and was ready to go. So having Jarquez Hunter back, Caleb Wooden back as well to add a little bit more to that safety group. Two big news items on a Tuesday as they move towards that scrimmage on Saturday morning.
Yeah, Robbie Ashford was the first team quarterback, at least when we were out there, got the initial first team reps there at QB. Not necessarily a ton to read into in terms of the development of the quarterback race, because we knew all these guys were going to get their own opportunities. It will all sort of culminate on Saturday. They'll be able to trim, like you were saying the other day, that's kind of cut day. Yep. It's the first one you're going to be able to trim after that. Jarquez Hunter, though, slides right back in with some first team reps. But really what was interesting today, Jason, is looking at the offensive line groupings. You could sort of tell that a theme of today's practice was mixing and matching, seeing if you can kind of test some guys out at different spots. Your guy Dylan Senda, who's now only in his second week on campus after transferring.
He's been here like 6 days.
Right, from Northwestern. He was getting some second team reps at left tackle.
He was left tackle, moved inside a guard a little bit too, and that's his value. We talked to folks that said, hey, we think he can play all 5 positions, and already playing 2 of those, and really just scratching the surface of kind of learning this offense. But it shows you versatility, what they think about him. And the interesting thing is the left tackle spot, because you think about kind of building towards 2024 and 25. If you get a guy like Dylan Senda and all of a sudden you go, hey, that guy can play tackle for you, then it opens up a lot of possibilities, opens up a lot of doors in terms of this roster and moving forward. But Dylan Senda and then Jaden Muskrat as well, the Tulsa transfer guy that started out his career as a left tackle, played right tackle last year for them, has played guard. We saw him at right guard, left tackle today too, and so he's moved around some. So 2 really valuable pieces in terms of versatility for an offensive line, especially considering you have Tate Johnson who can do some of those same things as well. And then you talk about Connor Lew can play guard or center. So you've built some versatility, and if they can do that, more than just a test run, if they feel like, hey, these guys are good enough to play those spots and to stay there, then you've added a lot of extra depth to an offensive line group.
Yeah, and speaking of Tate Johnson, a little bit of first team shuffling today, at least when we were out there. You had Jeremiah Wright slotting in at left guard. Cam Stutz was still the starting right guard there with the first team. Tate Johnson was getting some reps there on the second team. Really, those 3 guys, and like we've been saying this entire time, you can't count out a guy like a Connor Lew. You probably can't count out a guy like Jaden Muskrat either in terms of competing. So you've got 4 or 5 guys at the moment. That's going to be another thing to watch at the scrimmage on Saturday. You got 4 or 5 guys who could feasibly compete for these starting guard spots.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you got Cam Stutz there, who's the veteran, the old guy of the group, we've seen him kind of stay pretty steady at right guard. We've seen a lot of movement in those other 3 spots, and so that'll be one to watch. And then I think a rotation at wide receiver. Obviously, quarterback is there. We know what that is. It's a 3-team battle, and Holden Gardner has kind of put himself into the mix. He was already there, but I think he's put himself into the mix even more, not because the other 2 haven't really done anything good. I think Holden's improved himself. I think Robbie Ashford's improved. Obviously, Peyton Thorne's come in. Quarterback battle's going to be there. That wide receiver group, all of a sudden, this is a wide receiver group that has a lot of names that we feel like guys that can be playmakers. Now, consistency is probably going to be the key separator for them, and we'll start to get a feel for that on Saturday.
You heard a lot about it today as well, because we talked to DJ James, of course, at corner. We talked to Malcolm Johnson at receiver. DJ James said the toughest cover so far is Shane Hooks.
Yep.
I asked him, when the ball's in the air, who's the toughest to go up and get it? And he said it's a guy like Shane Hooks. The praise for Caleb Burton obviously continues. Just kind of quick thing before we end, we did get a look at some special teams today, the punt returners. You had Javarius Johnson out there. You had Jay Fair. Keontae Scott was obviously their guy last year. Caleb Burton is a guy who makes a lot of sense. He was an explosive return man in high school. And then just a quick sort of newsy thing to end, Jason. Fans will be able to roll tumors again.
Yep.
As we got a release today, it's been 6 or 7 years of them taking things lightly with those trees after they transplanted them. But the main 2 tumors oaks are going to be open for business this fall.
Yeah, no, I know fans are excited about that. You get to kind of get that tradition going again, and to start it fresh with a new group of people coming on campus, not addition to just students, but young kids that haven't ever done it before, hadn't had that opportunity. This is going to be fun to kind of get that going again, and so hopefully they'll have lots of chances to do that early in the season.
Yeah, for sure. So quick practice update from us here today on day 5 of fall camp. We'll catch you guys later. For Jason Caldwell, I'm Nathan King. We'll see you guys later.